the interesting thing is these Corsairs, Bearcats, Sikorsky helicopters, these things had to be pooled from enthusiasts around the world, painted like they were in the 1950, weathered to make them look authentic, and to be piloted by people in a proximity that they've never been shot on camera like this before.
I appreciate you guys taking the time, and congratulations on an incredible and touching film. I absolutely adored it. I've got to start with you, Jonathan. There is a scene where I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You are looking in the mirror, you are crying, you are talking to yourself. And that is one of the most powerful scenes in the entire film. I'd love to know what it was like to mentally prepare for that.
Well, the mental preparation for that was, it's interesting, a scene like that, you see it on the call sheet, you see where you see the date and it's kind of a ticking bomb. That's one way of looking at it. Or I thought of it as, this is the day in which we release, a lot of that, unfortunately, for everybody, but particularly for someone who moved through the world as a Black male in America, that is not far from the surface. And we push it down, just to get through the day, and not just me, but my grandfathers, and as well as Jesse Brown, and everybody, and anybody who has come up marginalized, in that day, I just thought, we've got to relax, and the thing that's going to be it's going to allow us to move past the given circumstances of this is to go all the way down. So it becomes a universal understanding. So the transcendence came from, you got to hurt now because everyone understands this level of hurt, and then let them have it. The thing I would also add to that is what was written on the page was in line with what was said, but what was said and what's actually in the movie is improv. I knew that it had to be personal, and that's what it was going to take to get, humbly, it feels the reaction that you've had from it. And then the cheat sheet that was also the second day of shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there, as far as setting the tone for the film and the process of making the film, from my lane, Yeah.
Wow. Well, phenomenal job. That scene is incredible. Glenn, for you, you've been a pilot recently in another film, and you went through
an astronaut.
and an astronaut.
Twice. Yeah. What? I played a few pilots. People are now bringing that up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, you went through actual flight training, right, for the other film. So did that help with this?
Yeah, I'm an actual licensed pilot.
Show him.
You want right now? Yeah. Well, for Top Gun, we obviously did all that flight training, lots and lots, in all different types of aircraft. But all that actually informed our aerial coordinator on Devotion is actually Kevin LaRosa, who's the aerial coordinator on Top Gun. And what's really just fun on a cinematic level, because I'm sure your audience actually would love this, it's just a different language in terms of the film. Obviously, the aircraft are very different. We're flying in these old warbirds and, flying at a different airspeed. So it changes the airworthiness of the plane where you put these IMAX cameras. But all the technology that we used on Top Gun, we're able to shoot these planes like they've never been shot before. And we didn't have naval pilots or naval bases and maintained aircraft. We had to pull these from across the world. The interesting thing is these Corsairs, Bearcats, Sikorsky helicopters, these things had to be pooled from enthusiasts around the world, painted like they were in the 1950, weathered to make them look authentic, and to be piloted by people in a proximity that they've never been shot on camera like this before. So it was, I don't know if this movie, without all the lessons I learned on Top Gun, would have been possible. It was a monumental effort to make all this happen. And it's just, again, it's not, you watch Top Gun and you watch Devotion, very different movies. I think they complement each other beautifully in terms of the aviation. You just look at it, you see the legacy of aviation if you watch those two movies together. But in terms of story, they could not be more different. But I think they're complementary to, all the people that serve and have served over generations.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. And real quick, right before we wrap, I got to know, can you tease anything about Kang? What's he up to, Jonathan?
Let me tell you everything about Kang.
Yeah, break it down.
Actually,
you go for it.
Tell me on the break.
Kang is conquering currently.
Awesome. I love it. Congratulations. You're incredible for that role in everything you do. So